Welcome to the Plug in India channel. This is the Electric Vehicle Issue Tracker episode number 10. This is where we share real world EV users, their problems and the solutions that they've got. We open them up to the EV community so that others can benefit from those problems, or if you have a problem, you can put it onto our forums and maybe somebody will be able to help you with a solution that they found for that problem. So we have a lot of popular EV brands now and India is buzzing with activity. A lot of those brands are two-wheelers. Let's take a look at some of those. So let's take a look at our first issue. We have with us Mr. Prathamesh Garg from Mumbai, who's been a YouTube channel follower for more than 4 years. And this year he took the plunge. He finally got himself a Revolt RV400. He's been driving it since the 1st of September and he's already done 3,300 kilometers on it. He says he rides about 100 kilometers on the days that he rides. So that is really quite a bit of riding. And he has a list of problems that he has encountered while driving this motorcycle. So Prathamesh has given us a list of 8 issues and let me quickly go through the list with you. The first off is a life-threatening issue, which is basically a bolt in his chassis actually came out, and this means that the entire wheel and the back wheel and the chassis would have separated. So this is something that is life-threatening. It should not have happened, but it has. The second issue is not so life-threatening, but he says the SOC on his console suddenly goes to 0 and then it comes back, but this is something that is bothersome. You don't want to suddenly see that there is no SOC left. You want to know how much charge you've got in your battery pack at all times. The third issue is that the mudguard makes a lot of noise, and also when he applies the brakes, the entire bike vibrates as if the cone set is off, he says. So this is something that is a mechanical issue that needs to be fine-tuned and fixed. The fourth issue he says is that the belt of the belt drive, the RV400 is belt driven mid-drive, RV300 has a hub motor. So the 400 belt makes a lot of noise, and this is something he feels is not a problem, but it is a design issue, and that's something which can be refined. The fifth is the brake pad and the disc pad, which makes a cuckoo noise on slow speeds, and this needs to be sorted out. The sixth is that his headlights are not bright enough. He feels that there has to be a little bit more intensity to be able to see properly, and the company can definitely do something to fix it. The seventh is his side stand, which he says is not strong enough. It kind of bends, and when you put the weight of the bike on it, it has a clacking noise, and when you get off sit onto the bike, again it makes this loud clacking noise. So this is something that needs to be addressed. And finally, the eighth one is again a life-threatening issue. His brakes failed while he was riding. Suddenly the levers just went limp and he could not stop his bike, and pumping the levers twice again, the brakes came back to life. But this has not happened again, but it should never happen to anybody, and this is something that needs to be looked at the design level by the company, and much sooner rather than later. So what did the owner do to address this issue? Well, he immediately went to an auto spare part shop and bought a matching bolt and fit it, because this is life-threatening. He could not wait to go to the service center. Then he also went to the service center where he wanted his list of 8 problems to be sorted out, and this is what happened for each of them. First, the bolt is not available at the service center, and they said they will have to order one single bolt, which will take anywhere from a week to a month, and it's a 6-number Allen key bolt. So basically the company takes really long to send spare parts over, and this is something that definitely needs to be addressed. The second solution is the 0% SOC error, and he found out by Google, the technician said that he had to actually open up the entire bike to find out exactly where the problem was and fix it. And so he did his own research and he found out that there was a center pin on the charging module which is responsible for the SOC readings on the console, and when the battery rattles or is shaken or moves a bit, the pin loses contact, and as a result the SOC number goes down to 0. The solution was to kind of pry the pin up a bit by a degree or so that it touches and makes contact with the pin on top, and he wasn't very confident of this kind of a hacky solution, and he wishes that the company should come up with a more proper design solution to this. It's a single pin fix, and he doesn't want the technician to tamper or open up his entire bike to try and figure out what's wrong with it. The third thing is the mudguard noise, and he says that nothing is loose, everything is nice and firm, but this is definitely something that can be fixed in the quality of the parts, and it's not a life and death matter, so he is willing to manage with it, but certainly something that makes the bike feel flimsy, we think, and so it should be addressed. The fourth is the belt noise, which is a design issue and nothing can be done about it as such. This is how the belt works, but maybe the company can do some research and development and figure out a quieter way to run the motorcycle. And the fifth point about the brake pad or disc pad noise. So after thoroughly washing the bike, he says that the noise was gone, but another issue was there with another revolter who said that their brake pads was finished and the replacement part had not arrived since a month, and that Revolt was very bad at providing replacement parts, and even the technician was having to adapt local brakes that were available in the market so that he could keep the guy going and not have any critical fatal issues. So this is something replacement spare parts should quickly come down to the service centers, and technicians and hence customers should not be kept waiting. This is really a very frustrating experience, and so companies should look into beefing up their supply chain. So sixth issue about the headlamp not being bright enough, not having enough intensity. Certainly the company can do something about it. This is a design issue, and replacing or putting a better headlamp would definitely make a difference. Seventh, the side stand, it needs to be oiled, and the park switch behind the screw that holds the park switch and the stand fails. So the technician is asked to keep on checking it frequently, and if it fails, that's another place where they have cheapened out. So Prathamesh feels that this is another area where the company has adopted a cheaper quality material, and this is something that he would like to see fixed. Finally, we come back to the brake feeling issue, and they said that this is because of an air gap, and it's an odd issue, but it has happened earlier with another customer. Since then it hasn't happened, but let's hope another episode of it doesn't happen, because it can be definitely a very tense moment when in the middle of the road suddenly your brake levers just go limp and you have no stopping power. So guys, we have the following remarks from Prathamesh. If you want to know more about this issue in detail, then the link is given in the description below. As this issue is closed and more solutions come, we will be updating it, but right now the issue is open. Prathamesh on the whole feels that the technicians at the workshop and the service center are very good, skilled at their job. However, he has been told by the technicians that sometimes to avoid changing a spare or a part, the company asks them to do very impossible things, like going around with the customer for their whole day to figure out what their daily movements are like and instruct them on the right way of using the motorcycle. So this is something that you certainly shouldn't be doing. A simple thing like the bolt failing is due to rust, and the rusted bolt will definitely decay, decompose and fall off. So better quality of bolt needs to be put, and also the spares need to be available. So we found this apart from Prathamesh's remarks on this, at Plug in India we've also found that many other companies do the same thing, that they are not making spare parts available. So the technicians do have the training, they do have the tools, but they don't have the spares. So this is something that the companies really need to look into. And yes, this is a passionate user. Prathamesh has been an EV enthusiast for a long time. He shifted to EVs, and he shouldn't be getting an inferior experience and then having second thoughts about having shifted to EVs. He should be having a superior experience to all ICE vehicles. Having said that, I would like to say that there are certain design issues over here which the company must take seriously, even if they have procured the kits from a foreign country and gotten it back into India. But selling in the numbers that they have and looking at the amount of enthusiasm there is for their product, definitely design changes should be made, improvements have to be made and doled out to the public as soon as possible. What do you guys think about this particular issue? Please let us know in the comments below. So the next issue is with an Ather 450X. We have a YouTuber named Pradeep who has posted this video on YouTube where he went to the Ather service center for his first service. So he's purchased the scooter on the 18th of August, which was his birthday, and he's already driven it 5,000 kilometers. Let's take a look at what his issues are. So Pradeep took his Ather to the service center at JP Nagar, and there he was told that his rear brake pads had worn out and needed to be replaced. However, these brake pads were not available in stock and the time for arrival was 1 week. So he was asked to go to another nearby service center about 7 kilometers away, where he would be able to get replacements. A person was sent to him for this purpose. Pradeep also inquired whether the front brake pads were spoiled, and he was told that again spares were not available, so he could ride them for another 500 kilometers before he had to change them. He was then told that the brake plates which hold the pads were also spoiled, and these also needed to be changed. There were scratches on the plates, and which indicated that these plates were worn out. The third issue Pradeep had was that the steering was a bit stiff. So what were the solutions given by the service center to Pradeep? The solutions were that they replaced the blade pad and the brake plate and the front brake pad as well. The advice that they have given Pradeep is that one should not touch the brake lever while accelerating or while driving, because even a slight touch to the brake lever means that it engages the brake, and then this kind of a problem happens. So Pradeep has these notes about his service experience. First, it was very slow. The second thing is spare parts are not available. The third thing is that the first service itself, which is the belt service, was not done at all. So the fourth point is that they called him in for a noon delivery. He got there at 6 p.m. and still the vehicle was not ready. It had not been serviced and it had not been charged, despite Pradeep requesting them to charge the vehicle, since he had a long way to take it home. So the fifth point is he had to ask them to service and deliver the vehicle the next day. So guys, this is the cost details and the feedback by Pradeep. He says that this was a very expensive service at 2400 rupees for changing the disc brake, the pads and the holders. He feels that for an electric vehicle with so few moving parts, this is really very costly. And he hasn't taken the subscription, so he would not get the free pickup and drop off. He feels personally that it would be better to actually pick up and drop off the bike yourself, because this is faster and more convenient. He says that this was not a free service, in fact it was a charge service. Another thing he says is that people need to be given proper information about how sensitive the brakes really are, so that they can properly use the vehicle. The second thing that he says is that the company should stop doing more deliveries if they are not able to handle the back-end service. They should ramp up the service and the spare parts availability, and only then go in for more deliveries. He also says that the range is less, but he has no complaints with Ather. His only complaint is with the very bad after sales or service experience. So the link to this issue has been given in the description below. You can go there and find out in more detail about this. There's a link to Pradeep's video which he has made on this particular problem. You can check it out over there. So next up guys, we have the MG ZS EV owned by Mr. Mukesh Bala, who purchased this on the 15th of November 2021, and on the 21st of November, just 6 days from his purchase, the car came to a grinding halt in the middle of the road, saying HV battery shut off, which would be high voltage battery shut off. When he took the car to the service center accused him, saying that the car was in a flood. Well, Mr. Mukesh said that that was not the case, and he had never taken the car to any flooded areas. And he opened out his GPS information, let the service center, gave them permission to take a look at all his details where he went, to correlate if he was ever in any flooded areas. So finally the service center came back saying that the only part which was actually wet was a high voltage coupler through which the water would have entered the battery. And Mr. Mukesh wonders how this might have happened, because the rest of the car was bone dry with only dust in it. So he wonders whether the IP67 actually worked, or was the connector not fit properly, because he has certainly not entered into these areas to do these changes. So Mr. Mukesh even goes so far as to say that he is ready to bear the cost of a brand new battery pack if MG can just prove that his car was in a flood. We have a video that he has submitted here where his car is hoisted, and you can see the bottom part of the car where he is inspecting it for dampness, wetness, to see how water could go inside the battery pack. Many things were promised to Mr. Mukesh. He says that MG had promised that he would be given a replacement car if in case there were any major repairs on the car. This replacement car is not being given to him. He wrote many emails to the senior management at MG, and finally they have gotten back to him, and they are saying that the service center's judgment is not final, and MG withholds its judgment. The issue is still pending. So the status of this ticket is still open and it yet to be resolved. The link has been given in the description below. You can go there and check out the details over there of what Mr. Mukesh actually did and the interaction between him and the service center. Generally, we have found that MG is a very good company in terms of customer service. They do right by their customer. So we have a feeling that the management will come back with a positive solution for him, and it is unfortunate that he has had to have this experience with the service center. So Plugin India has found out that Mr. Mukesh has exchanged a few emails with MGZS management, and we will let you know over here as we find out more details about this issue. So guys, thank you for staying with us till the end. This is the end of this month's issue tracker. We look forward to seeing you in next month's issue tracker, where we have a range of other issues lined up for you. Thank you very much. See you again next month.